Alright everyone, I know exactly what I want to make next in Blender. I'm not gonna lie though, she's a little bit ambitious. She's quite the step up from anything else I've made before, but here is the concept art. So she's a little marionette clown that's being forced to be on stage, even though she's really shy and she doesn't like crowds. Bit of a sad story, great concept though. So I reckon this project is probably going to involve a lot of rigging and a lot of weight painting, both of which I've never really done before, so we'll be learning together. And it'll probably involve a lot of animation and a lot more of an in-depth animation process in comparison to anything else I've made. So I guess we'll find out how this goes. But we've got to give it a try, right? So let's get sculpting. So the first thing I did was start by blocking out the stage, and I used a sketch as my guide. By having that sketch all ready to go, it meant that I didn't really have to guess what shapes I needed to make. It meant I was using my brain as little as possible, considering I'm probably going to give it quite the workout down the line. When I was making the stage, I spent a lot of time looking at reference images of Punch and Judy shows. Now I don't know if you've heard about them before, but I feel like it's a quintessential part of the British experience when you visit a beach. Basically, it's a puppet show about a really chaotic couple who spend their time arguing. It's probably not the most model behaviour for children, but you can't really mess with nostalgia, can you? Yeah, the blockout kind of looks like I've attacked it with a pair of left-handed scissors. Luckily, the subdivision modifier fixes everything. Something I find pretty cool about Blender is how many random little things you can do with it. The boolean modifier is a really good example.
Boolean. Boolean.
I mean, if I tried to cut out an oval out of some cardboard in real life, I'd probably have to spend a little bit of time digging out a craft knife, and by the time I've finished cutting out the oval, it'll probably look a little bit janky, a little bit uneven. With Blender, all you need to do is click the modifier, change a few settings maybe, Bob's your uncle. Admittedly, you do need to sculpt the shapes beforehand, but let's pretend that bit doesn't exist and it's just magic. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how cute these stars are? They really do add a little bit of pizzazz and I love it. Something I'm really trying to work on at the moment is how I can streamline my sculpting process. One of the ways I've found is by reusing the shapes I've got to make the details. In this case, I grabbed the edges of the shape and converted them into curves. I could then mess around with the bevel depth in a non-destructive way. Now you could convert it back into a mesh, but as an inorganic shape it's really difficult to change afterwards. Honestly, I have commitment issues, so I just left it as it is. Before I even started sculpting, I knew I wanted to add a rig because it would make animating easier down the line. Now the issue is I have no idea how to do it. My only experience with animation was moving single objects around and capturing that. It's pretty destructive and had to press Ctrl Z a lot. I followed Joey Carlino's video, which helped me understand how to design a character with proper human anatomy in mind. That made sure the bones could actually be manipulated in the right way. Plus he had another tutorial which covered how to create the body rig itself, so it made it really easy, and I'll be showing you that shortly. Now while I was working on the face, I noticed I kind of build it the exact same way in all of my designs. I suppose you could call it an art style, but honestly I don't think I've learned enough about face construction yet to say it's intentional. I reckon this would be something really interesting to research and experiment with. Right now it's pretty simple and cartoony, I'd say, which works great for this concept, but I'd really like to explore how I can mush a little bit of cartooniness with realism as well. But for now, that's for future Rhea to think about, so I'll lock it away for the time being. I am a very big fan of very big sleeves, and it seemed like the perfect occasion to bring that into my sculpt. If a clown can't have big sleeves, who can? It adds that touch of drama and a lot of fun. The best thing about the outfit at this point is it absolutely screams ABBA. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore their music, but it's not really clown chic, is it? Actually, I kind of take that back. It's really extravagant, it's really fun, it's really vibrant, and that summarises ABBA and our clown too, so it's the perfect outfit. You know what? I think I'm going to embrace the ABBA origin story. She was actually one of the original members of the band. She puts the H in ABBA. She was kicked out of the band because she spent too much time in rehearsals clowning around. After some really poor life decisions, she's now a clown being forced to go on stage even though she's got a massive amount of stage fright. That's the dramatics I'm sticking with anyway. Alright then, next up, the very dramatic collar. Honestly, it's very big, bold, and really extra. It's basically something Shakespeare would be very jealous of. I'm jealous. You see, I told you so. No. We're at the part where I think I truly lost my marbles. The hair. I feel like this is probably going to become a bit of a running joke because I really suck at sculpting hair. Here is my last attempt where I finally got it right. At this point, I'd probably spent hours working on the hair. I was really tempted just to keep the hair short, but I felt like I was just trying to take the easy way out, and that's not how we do things here. Instead, I saved my file, walked away from the computer, and just went to bed. I really did not feel like working on it anymore, and I thought I'd just been staring at the screen for far too long. And honestly, that might have been the best idea, because it meant that I came back the next day completely refreshed and ready to give the hair another go. After adding in all the little details, look how cute she looks. Can you believe this character started off as a cube? It's just a little bit amazing that you can have an idea and then just make it happen. Oh, I'm so excited. Now, I don't know if you already know this, but when you move your arm, your ear isn't meant to fall off, and you don't generally expose your butt when you lift your leg. So I guess I should probably do something about that. That's where weight painting comes really handy. So this was my first time weight painting ever, and I genuinely had no idea what it was and what it was for. Just in case other people are in the same boat, I'll break down what it is. Even though technology is trying to take over the world at the moment, it can't read your mind just yet. And that's where the human intervention comes in. You essentially paint on the mesh, so you can give Blender instructions on how you want it to behave. So the strength varies from red, which is the most influence, to blue, which is the least influence or no movement at all. So the idea is to make sure the weight painting simulates how a person would move in real life. In my case, I wanted to make sure that none of the face pieces moved if I interacted with the arms, legs or back. This meant I had to work through every single bone. It was a little bit tedious, but it was a necessary evil. So next, I moved on to weight painting the top, and it was so annoying. It wouldn't work, and I swear it wasn't my fault this time. I'm pretty sure Blender has this bug where some pixels just refuse to be painted. It felt like a really sadistic video game where you can only win if you get lucky with the boss combos, and until then you just have to keep restarting and restarting and restarting. Luckily I got there eventually, thank goodness for that. And here I am, messing around with the rig, a little bit excited at how good it looks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a really good first attempt. Nope, definitely can't do that. Here's a little test drive of a colour scheme that I was thinking of using, but it didn't feel like it was enough. I felt like it needed a touch of brightness, and I also wanted to look at textures that connect better with the clown theme. So instead, I added an image texture. Once again, I've never really tried this before, so I just played around with the scale, the rotation and the location until it just looked right. I'm really glad I did because I feel like it added a lot of nice detail and broke up all the flat colour on the rest of the model. Just to let you all know, I didn't make my own materials for the stage. I instead used the Blender kit add-on. Since I'm still a beginner, there's so much to learn, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself by adding another thing that I needed to research for this project. The reason why I went with a cardboard texture for the stage was because I wanted it to feel a little bit homemade, like something a kid might put together as a prop to play with their toys. I kind of wanted the same vibe as Toy Story. I then decided to change up the colour of the cardboard by adding a colour ramp node to the material. The main reason was just to match the bright, playful vibes of the Punch and Judy sets I'd seen. However, now that I think about it, I think I do wish I would have kept the natural hue of the cardboard. I think it might have made our little character stand out a little bit more on stage. So I don't want to share too much of the animation process because I'll be sharing the final render very shortly and I don't want to ruin the surprise. But I was checking out the screen recordings and it turns out I spent like 6 or 7 hours just focusing on making the animation. I didn't even realise I could focus for that long. Honestly though, I kind of want to try even more complicated animations in the future because I had so much fun. After all of the hard work and experimentation, here is the final render. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing me turn the little starter cube into a sweet little marionette clown. This project has been such a steep learning curve, but I've genuinely enjoyed every single minute of it and I can't wait to dive into my next creation, which I already have in mind. Until next time, bye-bye!